This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
We welcome you in, ladies and gentlemen, to this little experiment that we call the Meltdown. We're talking pop culture every single weekday, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, right here on the platform. Thank you for your subscription and hitting that little notification bell so you never miss when we go live here on the show. I am Tim Melton. We are broadcasting in the Culver studio. Joining me, my cohort today and only cohort today, that would be Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, some call you the boy wonder around here.
Some do.
And if they don't, I'm going to get it started. I'm going to start making sure everybody calls you that.
I mean, I'm saving the day all the time around here.
That is correct. EG is out on assignment for the next round today, so that is a sad shot of her chair with no EG in it, but we will welcome her back tomorrow in what will be a somewhat shortened edition of Meltdown Live because we will have our tickets booked for Final Destination Bloodlines, which opens up tomorrow, and then we'll have our full non-spoiler review for you on the show on Friday with a special guest here in tow, Jeff Roberts. My brother-in-law will be making a return back here on Friday as EG will be on the road, so we are excited about the rest of the week, but very excited about today as well. Happy Hump Day to everybody who celebrates. We got the Superman trailer released today as promised. This is the first official full-length trailer, even though there's been a teaser trailer that was pretty lengthy. We made a little bit of a side bet on the length of that trailer, and it ended up coming in a little bit longer than expected. I'm not trying to take a win here, Tyler.
Yeah, move on.
That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying that it was a lengthy teaser trailer, and then we had that sneak peek that was like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like this extended look, but this is actually the first full trailer that we got today. And we got a chance to watch this over the past hour or so here in the studio. It released a couple of hours ago. And we filmed our reaction, and I'm still trying to figure out where I'm fully at with it. And I'm hoping we can just have sort of a little bit of a back and forth, like very loose dialogue over the next 30 minutes or so about Superman and the state of superhero cinema and DC and James Gunn and what you think of this trailer. What do you think of the casting? All this stuff. Where do you want to start?
I don't know. But you know, let's just see where the conversation takes us.
Okay, well, let's start with your reaction to the latest trailer because I'm conflicted about this. It's jam-packed with visual goodies.
Mm-hmm.
There's verbal back and forth that we haven't heard before in this, especially between Lois and Clark and Lois and Superman. There's like a tonal change in Clark's voice when he's going in between his two personas, which I really liked. But there's something about this that's left me feeling somewhat empty, and I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, other than the fact this is my most anticipated movie of the year. I am not a Snyder fanboy to the point where I'm just like, hey, this thing can't exist. I'm rooting for this movie to be good. There's a lot at stake with this movie. The entire future of DC Studios is on the back of this movie, which launches July 11th. And I've been very hyped up for this movie, and this is like the lowest I've been on it, and I'm trying to figure out why. Why are we feeling that?
Because we've seen so much yet so little. We have all these little tidbits, if you will, that we could talk about. Whether it's the big kaiju fight in the street, the little shot of Ultraman, we've got Green Lantern teaming up with a Hawk Girl, and we got a Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor running around.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters.
There's a lot going on. Plus, you've got the sort of, broadcast journalism drama sort of side action going on with the interview setup between Lois Lane and Superman. It just this trailer makes it feel bloated.
Yeah, and the thing is, I've watched the trailer now about 5 times.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think the trailer is necessarily a bad trailer, right? It's not just a
Right.
downright, oh, that was a bad trailer.
We
It's
have
just,
all of these images and no context for them, so we don't know how to feel about any of it.
there's not, I think what I'm most frustrated by, and I'm starting to figure this out as we process it in real time, is that I watched this trailer. I did get chills during it. I did at certain points. Like, it really hit for me. The music, the way that they've used the music in the marketing, I really like.
The music is good.
It's really good. And I do think Corin Sweat is going to prove to be a great Clark Kent and Superman. I'm buying up my stock. But I think what I'm frustrated by is that I've watched this trailer 5 times and there's just not a lot to discuss off of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like you said, we're getting so much thrown at us, but nothing really with any substance to it. And we just need to see the movie. It's that simple. And I'm glad that they're not just spoiling everything left and right. I'm glad that there's still a lot of things that when we get in there, it'll be a full experience. And this conversation will be a distant memory. But right now, the marketing is to kind of get you talking with people. Like, oh, did you see this? And this is what they're doing. And I don't know that this is a great trailer to get people talking. I don't know there's a lot to talk about here. And I'm
There's
kind of
really
bummed
not.
about it.
Yeah.
Plus, we do a show where we talk about the latest in entertainment. This is the biggest entertainment story of the day.
And we planned to talk about it for half an hour.
We plan to talk about it for half an hour. We will pull the ripcord on that if we have to. I'm just warning you. But I don't know what to say about it. It's so empty. All of it feels so empty to me. And we're having a real moment where, like, all day long, I've worked ahead on, like, I'm prepared for we're going to talk deeply about Superman, and we're going to be getting into it here with the trailer and everything. That is going to be a little bit more of an issue now because, you know, visually there's some stuff I like. I like that Lex Luthor's in there running around screaming, crying, shaking, frustrated. I don't know. I want to see the damn movie. That's it. I need to see the movie to be able to give a full opinion on whether or not this thing is good. That's been the problem with the Superman marketing more than anything. Everybody clicks on it, and they just want to know, is this going to be good or not? And I can't give an answer of whether or not it's going to be good, even after having seen every piece of marketing material that's been thrown out there. I can't get a pulse on it.
My issue is I also can't tell you what kind of movie it's going to be.
Yeah.
Is this going to be more of a deep look into the character of Superman and how he's treated by regular people and what that means in terms of his responsibility to those people as well as his government, yada, yada, yada? Or are we going to just lean more into the big kaiju fights? And also, is this going to, I keep saying, journalism drama, but that was a huge chunk of this trailer.
To me, this is a more watered down version of what Superman's going through in Batman v Superman, sort of. It's like, narratively, it feels like he's being brought in to be told by the government, hey, you've got to quit getting in the way of, war, and you've got to, play by the rules, and you're looked at as a threat, and the public's starting to turn on him, and you have a Lex Luthor in this that kind of feels like Ben Affleck's Batman and Batman v Superman, of like, this guy can't be trusted, and, he's a villain and an alien from another planet. And I don't know. This feels, I guess it feels a little bit like a watered down Batman v Superman when I watch the trailer and think more and more about it. And if there's one thing I do not like about the trailer, it is Ma Kent, when she's like, I cleaned up your boots. I'm going to go get them for you. And it's like, I don't know. For you. They're laying it on thick. That these are just some normal people out in the country. I don't know. I don't hate the trailer. It makes it sound like I hate the trailer. I don't hate it. I'm a little bit, maybe a little bit more nervous about it than I was 24 hours ago. And I've been buying up all the stock I can in James Gunn's Superman for so long, and I just want to see the movie. Just need to see it in its complete form. I'm tired of all these splices and cuts and, ode to John Williams' score and Superman falling from the sky every 5 minutes. I mean, he's falling from the sky and hitting the ground constantly in all the marketing material. I just want to kind of see Superman wreck and shop there for a couple of minutes, uninterrupted, without him having to be helped up off the ground by either a dog or the general public. And that's all the time. I want to know how they're going to integrate all these characters and give them enough screen time to make it work. And I just want to see the show.
So, from what I've heard, I can't confirm this. Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Ultraman work for Lex Luthor. And Lex Luthor will also be using an army of monkeys to make angry tweets about Superman to shift the public opinion.
Awesome. Okay.
Can't confirm any of that, but, I mean, that is the vibe you get from the trailer.
From what I've heard, if you want the whole movie spoiled for you, it's all out there. Like, you can find it. The entire plot for the movie is out there.
I hope not. I'm going to have to keep dodging spoilers.
That's what I've heard. You're going to have to maybe take extra precautions there. But I don't know, man. I'm been talking about this movie for so long. I know what's at stake. I still am excited to go see it. I just am tired of... I'm really kind of tired of the marketing campaign for it. I don't know. That poster, you gifted me a poster.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at it, it's just going to cause frustration until I see the movie. I'm nervous. I'm rooting for the movie so hard that I'm nervous that it may really disappoint because it looks, like you said, bloated. It looks a little bit overstuffed. It's a lot.
That's a lot for a movie.
It's a lot. So, Superman, I'd love to get y'all's reactions in our comment section here on the live show of what you guys thought of the trailer. If you got a chance to see it, it dropped about 3 hours and 13 minutes ago here in the central, well, really, no matter where you're watching, but about 3 hours and 13 minutes ago it dropped, and I'd love to know what you thought about it. We just got a chance to see it for the first time about a half an hour ago, about 45 minutes ago. So, still processing it very much. Tyler, you have anything for us from the chat?
Let's see. Jeff in the chat, not your Jeff, but other Jeff, says, I'm at full meh with the trailer. Charles says, I'm with Jeff. It looks great, but I just don't get the feeling it's going to be good. Creative Brian with an interesting take says, I think the Ironheart trailer is better than the new Superman trailer. I actually didn't watch the new Ironheart trailer. Sorry, Brian.
You watched me watching the Ironheart trailer.
I watched Tim watch the Ironheart trailer, and I think that was probably more entertaining than watching the Ironheart trailer will ever be. Because
I'm not intrigued by Ironheart, to say the least. But, I mean, I'm glad that it's working for you. I don't plan on clicking on that on Disney+. It looks like they're really stretching to, pretty much anything they can throw at the wall that has the Marvel brand on it. Let's make a story about it. And I don't really think this is going to pay off narratively or tie in too much to the future of the MCU. And I mean, I may be wrong on that. Obviously, they're leaning into with Ironheart right there at the get, like from producer Ryan Coogler. Like, they want to make it very clear Ryan Coogler is associated with this, especially since he's dominating at the box office with Sinners right now. And I'm not sure how much Ryan Coogler really had to do with this production, but it looks like Disney Plus slop to me.
It does.
It does to me.
The little bit I saw over your shoulder looked like garbage.
It does not look great, in my opinion, but, and to drop that on the same day as the Superman trailer, it just makes me feel like...
It's a bad look.
It just makes me feel like they're not really too high on it, so maybe they're trying to bury it just a little bit. But hopefully I'm wrong, and Creative Brian, I hope that it's a wonderful show, and I hope that it forces me to click on it because there's so many rave reviews, but we shall see.
Charles says, he doesn't get the feeling that Superman's going to be good, but he loves Rachel Brosnahan and thinks she's a good fit for Lois. I agree. That was great casting.
I very rarely have had this feeling where I can't pinpoint specific things in the trailer that I hate or dislike or that don't work for me. but that I'm so tired of just the waiting game for this one. I don't know. I'm more angry at the calendar than anything that was creatively done. I'm tired of this like weird imagery that has no context associated with it being spliced all together, and it being so frustrating that we don't have more pieces of the puzzle, figuring out a little bit more of how all these things are going to be connected, how it's going to work on screen, and whether or not we're going to be sitting in there, much like I was with my most anticipated movie of the year last year, where I was sitting around going, should I walk out? Like, am I going to go 0 for 2 in the past 2 years? Because last year was Joker Folie à Deux, which was another DC movie where I was cringing watching it, going like, too. I mean, I was looking at the group that we had brought. I was like, gosh, I want to go. You know, I mean, this is bad. This is rough. And it was painful to get through. And I was like, I cannot believe they're missing the mark this hard on this movie. And I'm hoping I don't have that same sort of feeling in Superman. I don't think I will. But I'm just really conflicted right now. I mean, we're less than 2 months away from Superman coming out. But I just need to see the movie. I almost, it's like just not fun to discuss this movie anymore.
It really isn't. I like Crypto. Let's go back to talking about Crypto.
Let's talk about Crypto.
He is an absolute delight every time I see him doing anything. And what?
It's cheap.
You shut your mouth.
It's the truth. You say whatever you want. You can call me call me whatever you want. It's cheap. They're playing to the dog owner of America, saying like, hey, we know you sold all of your hope on Superman being a viable on-screen character for a long time, but he's got a dog this time, and we're going to sell a lot of toys, and we're going to get a lot of people interested because there's this little cute little dog. So come on, and we're going to have to make sure it's in every piece of every trailer and every piece of footage we put out. Like, Crypto is the Baby Yoda of 2025.
Yes.
Like you said.
Yes. Absolutely, and I don't mind it. I love it, in fact, because that little CinemaCon extended look we got of the, I guess, full version of Crypto saving Superman and taking him back to the Fortress of Solitude. Mm-hmm. I was in my chair in the theater because I got to see that for the first time at the theater before, I can't remember what movie it was, maybe Brave New World or something, but
Minecraft.
Minecraft is what it was. Yes, you're right. And I absolutely loved it. I just had the biggest grin on my face watching Crypto jump on Superman's chest and kind of halfway try to drag him and more so try to get him to play.
The first trailer we saw, the teaser trailer that we saw, I think it was back in December. Mm-hmm. When we shot that one, it was a lot of anticipation. And Crypto was the star of that. In that official extended look, mm-hmm. Crypto was the star of that. In this trailer, Crypto kind of steals the show towards the end of this trailer. They can only do it so many more times until eventually we've got to deliver on the Superman part of this. You know, like, look, it's cheap. Well,
what you're not expecting is that this is actually all to set up the Crypto movie.
Right. They're actually, a week later, they're going to pull a Marvel and change the title, and it's just going to be Crypto the Superdog. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's what the actual title was. It's not Superman.
Yeah. Look up. It's Crypto.
Exactly. You know, Crypto, last dog standing, you know. Superman dies in this movie, and Crypto has to, like, avenge. It's reverse John Wick.
Crypto starts the Justice League after Superman dies.
I feel like you didn't give that line enough credit. Reverse John Wick? That's funny.
That's good.
That's really funny. And I didn't even get a chuckle. I'm going to do a fake chuckle here on the sound effects because I didn't even get a little chuckle. Reverse John Wick? I just thought of that. Can you believe that? Here we go. The fake laughter makes it actually worse. That was a mistake.
Does.
Should not have done that.
I don't know why you subjected our audience to that.
I don't know. Smuff cryptocurrency is the future, spelled like crypto there. And saying Jonathan Kent being played by Glenn Fogel from Justified is weird. The Kents are weird in this.
Yeah.
Like, it's an artistic choice if we're going to make these more grounded individuals and we're going to make them look like they really are right there on the farm. They just happen to be in a superhero movie. But they kind of stand out like a sore thumb. You have all these like overtly charismatic, gorgeous people on screen, and then you got Ma and Pa Kent yelling in their country twang, and I don't know, it just doesn't. It's very jarring for me. Like, I don't want to be in the theater when they pop up on the IMAX screen and be like, boo, you know, or anything, but it is jarring. It's very strange.
I think I'll be fine with it.
Sure.
I didn't like the Ma and Pa Kent in Man of Steel, or really any other part of Man of Steel. So
yeah,
I'll take it.
Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? He's Superman. He could literally could save you in 2 seconds.
It's a tornado. Everybody is taking shelter. Nobody's looking at you, narcissist.
Nobody cares. Like, you literally, I mean, there's no reason. He's not going to out himself. No one's got their cell phone out recording.
Yeah.
You're good. Like,
also, who's going to believe anybody from Smallville when they say anything about it? I saw a man run faster than a speeding bullet.
Exactly. That actually sounds like the current Ma and Pa Kent. Like,
yeah.
you could be Superman's brother, his half brother.
Oh, I don't want to be part of that.
We're going to send that to an audition tape to James Gunn. Look, there's a lot at stake with this movie. There's a lot of vitriol that's going to come with this movie. This is a movie I want to fully champion, right? I want to believe in this movie. And I'm just going to have to wait and see. I can't, over the next 2 months now, put up any sort of defense. I've just got to wait and see because I'm as tired of being teased with this thing as everybody else now. And so, you know, maybe it's just hitting me weird on this hump day. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to be like, you know what, I was too tough on that trailer. It's not that it's bad. I feel a little numb to it.
It doesn't do anything to build hype.
No.
And I think the individual shots it shows are fine.
Yeah.
But the longer stretches of the trailer is where it loses me, where it's not that sort of swell of excitement.
There's a shot with like 20 seconds left that you have to basically pause the trailer to be able to see, which I did. But it's a girl that looks like she's from the movie Clueless. She's wearing like a yellow plaid dress. And she's taking a selfie with Superman fighting in the background in one of the towers. And she's like, you know, and whatever. And I'm like, ugh, you know, I don't know.
Gives you the ick.
It did kind of give me the ick. It just kind of stuck out. I was like, what was that? I go back and watch it. But I'm sure it'll be funny in context in the movie. I'm sure everything in context in the movie is going to work. This trailer, though, feels like a bunch of out-of-context stuff that it's kind of our job to put things into context, and I can't put anything further into context after seeing this trailer than before I saw it.
I mean, there's a war that Superman gets in the mix in, and the Hammer of Baravia is upset. That's the big armor suit guy.
Mm-hmm. Frank Grillo is scowling. He's not happy.
Yeah. Who does Frank Grillo play in this movie?
He definitely plays a character that has been announced. I don't remember who the character is.
Okay. Yeah.
But he apprehends Superman in the trailer.
Okay. Ultraman is in this trailer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ultraman is just in the Hammer of Baravia suit.
Yeah. See, you're doing the thing the trailer does, which it's no offense to you. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying, like, this is all you can do of like, well, this person's in the trailer and this person's in the trailer and this person's in the trailer. And I just feel like if you're going to say, hey, this is the official sort of story trailer here, that you needed to give us a little bit more of the story.
Yeah.
And we didn't get any of that. It was just more, we're going to throw everything visually at you again. So
I do like the idea of Superman having to wrestle with the idea of, well, I crash landed here. What do I owe these people? And, you know, if I do want to protect them, is it worth doing so within these rules? Kind of like the Civil War storyline for Marvel, with the Superhero Registration Act and that whole conflict.
It really is Batman v Superman, though, if you think about it. I mean, it's the exact same arc, and I'm trying to figure out why this is a lighter color palette. It's got more fantastical characters.
Yeah.
But it's the same sort of thing that we saw Clark go through and Superman go through with Batman v Superman. It's the same thing.
Yeah, Batman v that opened with the statue, right? There was someone like defacing a Superman statue, or there was someone arguing. It opened with a statue.
That sounds right.
That sounds right. Jody in the chat says Frank Grillo plays Colonel Rick Flag.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, thank you, Jody.
Now we know.
I think that's a good role for him.
Yeah, it should work out. Should work out well. I don't know. I wanted to beat the drum of Superman is giving us a great trailer yet again, and I'm so pumped for it. I'm kind of thinking of my cousin, right? My cousin is a doubter of this movie. Mm-hmm. And is very much like, look, the Christopher Reeve Superman will never be topped, and they need to quit trying, and Hollywood is broken. And I've always, I've been like, hey, let's at least give this a shot.
Maybe one of those things is right, but the last two, no. Like, we always have to keep trying to just create better art and improve on what we've already made. And, you can argue that Hollywood's broken, but they make plenty of movies.
There's a lot of people who share his thought process. Mm-hmm. And this trailer does nothing to shut those people down in their, I don't want to say shut those people down. This does nothing to change their minds. This does nothing to provide any sort of reasonable counterpunch to that logic. And I think that's what I'm most underwhelmed by with the trailer, is that it does look like just sort of more the same, bloated, let's throw a bunch of characters on there. And I'm sure once we see the movie, we'll be able to actually digest, and hopefully it's deeper than what its marketing has shown it to be. Hopefully it has more layers than what its marketing has shown it to have. And that's my hope.
Well, I mean, with James Gunn, that's what we can expect to be in the movie, is these deeper layers with characters where you can really make a connection, whether it's a Rocket Raccoon or a talking tree, whatever. James Gunn does a good job with that.
Yeah, I'm certainly going to not judge the movie by the marketing campaign here, but I wanted something more than just an orchestra-laden music video.
Yeah.
And what I got was a music video, and I wanted something cinematic, and I got a music video. So
we had more dialogue with the GTA 6 trailer.
That is correct.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah. Speaking of dialogue, if you plan on doing any talking anytime soon, you may want to use your mouth. That was what I would recommend. And there's the mouth experts that are right down the road from here on Grants Mill Road. That is Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan, a trio of supermen. They're located at Alabama Dental Associates, providing you all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health. Maybe you have some major work that needs to be done and you're looking for the best in town. Turn to them at Alabama Dental Associates. Or, who knows, maybe you just are like, I want to get a checkup. I put it off, when we went through COVID, I just never really got back into the routine of going to the dentist as much as I should. And or who knows, maybe your dentist has retired and you're looking for a new home. This is the place to go. On Grants Mill Road, Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, Dr. Nolan, there with Alabama Dental. You can call to make an appointment, 205-956-8977, or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. Don't forget, extended hours Monday through Thursday there at their office, and then they have hours on Friday and Saturday. They always have a window open for you there at Alabama Dental Associates. Okay, there's some other headlines I want to get into. Have you seen the imagery for this Madden production that's underway?
I have not.
Okay. I don't know if you have the image available to share with all of us here, Todd.
I do, and I'm going to need you to explain this one to me, Tim. I've got it up now. It looks like you got Nick Cage as John Madden.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
That is what I'm looking at.
That was announced a while back. But you have Nicolas Cage as John Madden. And then you have, you know who that is Al Davis right there, right? Do you know who that is?
No.
It's an actor you know very well, an actor that you appreciate.
I'm having trouble recognizing him.
That's Christian Bale.
That's Christian Bale?
One of the most transformative actors of all time, Christian Bale. Maybe the most transformative.
Oh, you can kind of see it if you look really close and get under there. Wow, he's transformed himself once again.
The dude is a chameleon. Like, in what he can do to shape his body without the use of prosthetics and without he does it all very dramatically. He goes, like, in The Machinist, he was, like, down to nothing. And
He's not wearing any prosthetics in this?
I'm not saying that's necessarily the case here, but I'm saying with his body.
Oh, okay.
You know, like his body, he can change his body, it seems like.
Oh, absolutely. He starved himself for The Machinist, and then for Vice, he blew up.
He did.
Like a balloon.
Did it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. He probably gave a lot of bigger guys a lot of confidence with that movie. Because, I mean, think about it. You're sitting there that size, and then you see Christian Bale as Dick Cheney. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Then he had to shed it all to be Al Davis.
I've got Batman inside me.
Exactly. No, it's amazing what he's been able to do with his body structure throughout the course of his career. Can't be healthy. I mean, that can't be a healthy thing to continue to go up and down there. But the film follows John Madden's journey from his Super Bowl winning partnership with Al Davis and the Raiders to creating Madden NFL and becoming one of the most iconic voices in football history. The director of this film is a constant collaborator with Christian Bale. That would be David O. Russell. Did you ever see the movie American Hustle?
American Hustle.
Bradley Cooper,
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes. Christian Bale, Amy Adams. Mm-hmm. Thought that was a really good movie. David O. Russell is back with this one, as John Mulaney's also in this movie. One of my favorite comedians working today. He plays Trip Hawkins. Catherine Hahn plays Virginia Madden, and Sienna Miller plays Carol Davis in all of this. Should be a fun time. Production currently underway, but they shared this photo, and I'm sold. I'm ready to buy my ticket to this one just based on the photo. We've gotten, when it comes to Nick Cage, we got the Spider-Man Noir.
Yes.
Still, that I'm now seeing the trailer for. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it floating out there. It's very short. It's like a television spot.
Oh, okay.
But it looks good. It looks good. Imagine Sin City, but in 2025.
Oh, okay.
That's sort of the vibe I'm getting here. So that looks really good. And then now we've gotten Nicolas Cage a day later playing John Madden. And I'm hoping there's a lot of time with him in the broadcast booth as well. That's how I sort of grew up with John Madden, him in the broadcast booth. I would really love if they do like a behind the scenes of him in the movie Little Giants, which he makes an appearance in. He drives his bus up, saves the day with Rick Moranis and his ragtag group of young footballers. So anyway,
I hope there's a scene where he's creating the Madden video game and he comes up with the EA Sports "It's in the game" tagline.
Yeah, that
he
would
just
be great.
Screams it at someone.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
We have Samuel in the chat. Have we talked Andor yet? Just finished watching it. So this is a no Andor zone, and I'm going to explain why. I've never started it, right? I think that I've watched a ton of the MCU shows. I watched a ton of the Star Wars shows, and I just got to the point where I stopped. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't force myself to sit down and watch anymore. And I've watched Obi-Wan. I've watched Book of Boba Fett. I've watched Mandalorian. I've watched Mandalorian Season 2. I did not watch Mandalorian Season 3. I kind of cut off around then. And I didn't watch Ahsoka. And I just started picking up the tidbits of what it is that I need to care about with these things and move on. Andor's already a completed story with Rogue One. If you know how Rogue One ends, you know how Andor officially ends. And so I just never had the itch to watch Andor. And I've heard it's great. And I heard they especially stuck the landing with Season 2.
That's what I've heard.
I've heard it's amazing. And it's made me go, okay, if I have a random window, I need to just start to binge this thing. I already pay for it. Might as well. But I actually am going to go with the route of rewatching Rogue One first and then going back. And if that really tickles my fancy again, I'm going to go and watch Andor. So I'm going to watch Rogue One again first. But anyway, we did not watch Andor. And we've been texted about it. We've been told about it. I had people on social media going, oh my gosh, Andor. Haven't watched it. I can't fully tell you why, other than I just got burnt out on watching Disney Plus television. So I'm going to give it a shot eventually. I promise. Let's see here. There were a couple people who knew Christian Bale was there either in the photo or in the production to begin with. But yeah, kind of a crazy photo there. Let's talk about this one. HBO Max is officially back. You heard that they're bringing back the title, the name?
They're changing the name.
You should have never gotten rid of it in the first place.
I agree.
And I just got to the point where now I refer to it as Max. But for months, I've referred to it as HBO Max, and I just trained myself to just start calling it Max. And now they change it back. I don't know what focus group they had to bring in to let them know that HBO Max is a stronger name than Max. But someone made the joke that by October, it'll just be known as HBO again. Like they're just going to change it again. But the marketing I actually think Max is maybe the best streaming service of the traditional ones. Like I'm not counting YouTube. I'm talking about premium content streaming services where they're all under one roof. I think Max may be my favorite. But I just called it Max again. HBO Max now. But the name, they've screwed it up over and over and over again. But
it used to be HBO Go. You remember that?
I remember that back in the day. Yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah.
HBO Go. And then they ended up kind of changing that up. But anyway, there's the name change. I want to say this. Game of Thrones, which is a show that made HBO even more relevant over the past 15 years. They've got a spinoff, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which has been lauded as being one of the must-see shows of 2025. It has now officially been pushed and shifted to 2026.
Oh, womp, womp, womp. A Game of Thrones thing got delayed? No way. No way. I don't believe it.
A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms was supposed to come out late 2025 and is now coming out in 2026. I would assume spring of 2026.
Yeah.
So, there's nothing I love more than on a Sunday night hearing that Game of Thrones theme. And if there's anything that Game of Thrones got right that Star Wars didn't, Game of Thrones said, we're just going to put the most badass thing we have on every single Game of Thrones thing ever. I don't care what it is. House of the Dragon, same theme as Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, I assume, is going to do the same theme as Game of Thrones. And it's so smart. It would be a mistake
not to.
Like, are you telling me we're never going to get an opening crawl again in a Star Wars movie that has that theme unless it's like episode 10? Like, we're never going to get another one of those moments? I don't believe you.
That seems to be the plan.
But that's what they went with. That was one of the biggest mistakes I felt like with Rogue One. Since we're talking Rogue One, should have had a crawl in Rogue One. If there's any movie that needed a crawl, it was Rogue One. Let people know exactly what's going on, getting people set up. And so they said, no, we're not going to give you a crawl. We're going to give you 2 seasons of Andor on Disney+. Could have just solved it with a crawl.
Man, for the longest time, I thought it did have a crawl.
No crawl in Rogue One. It just starts with like this weird, like really cheap looking font that as it's flying over this planet. So anyway, that's one thing about Rogue One I did not like. But anyway, I'm being real nitpicky today.
Oh yeah. Man, you're not even getting into the fact that George R.R. Martin is working on something that is not finishing Game of Thrones.
I know.
Game of Thrones is never going to be finished.
It never really is. No, we're just going to have to live with Season 8 of Game of Thrones as being the official canon. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is adapted from George R.R. Martin's novel The Hedge Knight and will follow the exploits of the knight Sir Duncan the Tall and his young squire Egg. Roughly 100 years before the events of Game of Thrones and 100 years after the events of House of the Dragon. So right there in that sweet spot. So Dunk and Egg's journey will take them to a competition in which they encounter several members of the Targaryen dynasty.
Can we finish House of the Dragon before we get something that needs House of the Dragon as a reference point?
I'm glad you bring that up because HBO has not announced a premiere window yet for the third season of House of the Dragon, so we don't know when we're going to officially get that. But it is currently in production and has been confirmed to be the second to last season, as it will be a 4-season show. House of the Dragon will be. So season 3, we don't know when it's going to debut, but it is in production right now as we speak. They're filming some battle.
Is what's his name still lost in Harrenhal?
Yeah, Damon.
Damon, yes.
I think Damon made it out of Harrenhal, if I'm not mistaken. So
I'm just saying that'd be a good reason for a delay. It's like we still can't find him.
Should do a spinoff.
Yeah.
Damon in the halls of Harrenhal, and it just be him, like every week, a 30-minute episode of him just kind of walking the castle and seeing visions of his brother.
That's kind of what season 2 was for a while.
Season 2 was better than that. That was just,
oh my gosh,
they messed up Damon's storyline a little bit by sidelining him so much.
No, I agree with Smuff in the chat. House of Dragon this whole thing out. Exactly. Exactly. The pacing went to a snail's pace in season 2, and it actively hurt my enjoyment of the show every week.
Yeah. There's a headline that came out today that put me, I think, in a sour mood.
Yeah?
And then I watched the Superman trailer. It didn't get better. But I got put in a sour mood because I saw this headline, and it kind of upset me because I've been going around telling people, like, hey, this is a movie you need to have on your radar.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a movie that we have a trailer reaction to out there. It's called Together.
Oh, yeah. They got sued.
Allison Brie and Dave Franco. And they've been sued for what's being called a blatant ripoff of another movie.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes it really damning is it's not only there's entire sequences that look like they've been ripped off, but that Allison Brie and Dave Franco were actually offered to be in that other movie. And they turned it down.
The script, and they presumably read it and turned it down.
This is going to really affect my enjoyment of sitting down and watching this movie.
Yeah. This movie was having like festival and awards hype being attached to it. And
there was a bidding war for it.
Yeah.
I think it was out of Sundance, and there was like, who's going to win the rights to this? Is it Neon that ended up getting it?
Neon,
it's like a $17 million purchase for the rights to this low-budget horror movie.
Samuel says it's a reimagining.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, they said they're going to fight back on this, but it's supposedly a blatant ripoff of a movie called Better Half, a 2023 independent film. The suit claims that Together steals the high-concept idea of a couple who finds themselves physically infused together, as well as numerous other plot and thematic elements, including a near-verbatim reference to Plato's Symposium. Sounds like something deeper I would need to really sort of dive into to be able to fully explain. But according to the suit, Franco and Brie were pitched Better Half in 2020, but them and their WME agents turned it down. And the producers of Better Half, Jess Jacqueline and Charles Beale, heard about Together the day before it screened at Sundance. They decided to view it to assess the similarities. As the audience laughed and cheered, Jacqueline and Beale sat in a stunned silence, their worst nightmare unfolding, the suit states. Scene after scene confirmed that defendants did not simply take stock ideas or scenes of fare, but stole virtually every unique aspect of Better Half's copyrightable expression. That's pretty damning. And I unfortunately read in this, like, how the movie sort of ends.
Oh.
Like, they kind of don't give a spoiler warning in the article on Variety. And it kind of tells you, like, hey, there's this certain song that plays at a crucial point in Better Half or whatever. And in this movie, the same song plays.
Ooh.
So, allegedly. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know what changes could be made. But, anyway. Yeah. It's not looking good. Will this get pulled, you think, from the release altogether? Is there a chance?
No. I don't think so, unless maybe if the court case moves forward, but I would expect them to settle, or there be some discussion over like a revenue split.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because pulling it from theaters means just nobody makes money.
But it also means that no damages were maybe done if it doesn't ever get released. Maybe it's a way to like settle complete. I think it's unlikely. I'm just going to point out, I think it's unlikely. But I'm not saying that it's completely impossible that this movie actually never makes its release window of July, because it sounds like, I haven't seen Better Half.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it sounds like they got a pretty strong case here. If they can pretty much show their movie and show the other one and be like this. Oh, by the way, we met with them on this date. They said they were very interested in this. They ended up using it in the, I mean, this could be pretty bad, but we'll see. Neon acquired the film at Sundance, is set to release it, I believe it's July 30th.
Yeah, it's sometime around there.
I believe it's July 30th. The distributor is named as a defendant along with Bree, Franco, WME, and writer-director Michael Shanks. So there we go. Maybe something that becomes a very intense discussion about whether or not there'll be a settlement, and leading up to the release of the film, it's really putting sort of a damper on what was supposed to be the horror hit of 2025.
Oh, yeah, this was supposed to be a grand slam that just really got all the horror fans talking. And they were talking about it when the trailer dropped, but it's going to be tough to really get any sort of genuine support for this movie going with that lawsuit going on.
Time to shift all of our attention to weapons. That's what we're going to have to do.
Yep.
But we shall see if this ends up sort of spinning even more out of control to where it damages the careers of these talents as well. That's very much possible. Just look at Dave's brother, James Franco. Very different sort of situation, but he went from being a lock for an Oscar nomination to being completely blacklisted by the entire Hollywood world. So we'll see what happens when it comes to the Francos. But that's going to do it for us here on The Meltdown today. Look, I'm going to just state one more time, if you've been with us throughout the entirety of this conversation, I would have loved to have come on here and had more to say about the Superman trailer, some more in-depth analysis of sort of story choices that they look like they're going to make. I don't have it. Yet. We'll have a full breakdown, though, once we see the movie and we can get into our spoiler review there in mid-July, and we are still looking forward to that. We also always look forward to teaming up with our title sponsor. That is MyBookie at MyBookie.ag. You can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime there at MyBookie.ag. Use promo code NEXTROUND there at MyBookie. That is going to do it for us. We will see you again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, as we all get ready for another horror movie that's gotten some pretty solid reviews so far. That is Final Destination Bloodlines. We've booked our tickets, and we'll let you know if that's something that you should see this upcoming weekend. It's all happening right here on The Meltdown Live, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern.